These two documents were always a part of a National Archives collection, but it's only by placing them side by side that we see the differences in terms of how both prime ministers had spoken about this same moment in history whereby Singapore joined to form this new state of Malaysia. And here are the proclamations that proclaimed the formation of Malaysia. So we have the Proclamation of Singapore joining Malaysia and the Proclamation of Malaysia.
Members of the diplomatic corps, of the government, and other guests are in their places on the city steps to await the arrival of the Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, whose day this is.
On these very steps, Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew read out the proclamation of Singapore joining Malaysia, and behind him was this large billboard of a multiracial Malaysia, and it reflects the kinds of aspirations that they had for the future of the country. Whereas the Proclamation of Malaysia was signed by Tunku Abdul Rahman. It was also read here by Tun Razak, the Deputy Prime Minister, at these very steps at City Hall, although it was later on also read the next day by the Prime Minister of the Federation of Malaysia, Tunku Abdul Rahman.
I guess what's similar between the documents is that they're both very celebratory in nature. It's very hopeful period for people from the countries joining Malaysia. There's a strong belief at that time that the merger will be a success. We look at the borders of both documents. The Malaysia Proclamation features the hibiscus, which was chosen as Malaysia's national flower in 1960. And the borders of the Singapore Proclamation features orchid. The orchid was already associated with Singapore in 1963.
One last difference is the difference in the material that the items were printed on. So the Proclamation of Singapore joining Malaysia was printed on paper, printed with CMYK plus gold ink. Whereas you notice that the gold ink on the Proclamation of Malaysia is a lot brighter. That's because it is actually written it's actually printed on parchment and then later on hand-coloured and illuminated with gold.
You can actually do a comparison between the two proclamations. The 63 proclamations very celebratory in tone, in nature, lovely documents, ornate documents. But the latest 65 one, Proclamation of Singapore, is a very simple document, a very Spartan looking, no borders.
Functional document.
Very functional document. Yeah.
Proclamation that Singapore was now
hole punch, stapled.
Hole punch, stapled, printed on pieces of paper that's even smaller than A4.
Yeah.
Filed away probably in some government file until it was transferred. Possibly due to the hastiness in which Singapore had to leave Malaysia. So under those circumstances, there simply wasn't time for them to design an ornate document, to organize a proclamation ceremony, to display this in a very public fashion.
And there's also a more I think, somber moment because there's questions on Singapore's survival. Will we survive a standalone country? Maybe the document also reflects the gravity of the situation and the need to very quickly take the steps to secure the country's future. Yeah.